If you're curious as to why the fascism is ramping up, I think there are several reasons. Number one, the cankles. Kanks has a muffin top cankle. I mean, fluid out the wazoo, dementia out the wazoo, rage tweeting about late night comedians at 2 a.m. when he's the president of the United States, militarizing cities, attacking everybody and anybody that he can, having 3 hour, oh my God, you're so great, circle jerks in the West Wing. The reason he's doing all of this is because he's wildly unpopular. So they ramp up the propaganda, they ramp up the fascism, because here is the nut cutting right here, you guys. Let me show you how underwater Kanks is. Inflation and prices, he's at minus 27. He's at minus 20 on the environment. He's at minus 18 on abortion. He's at minus 15 on jobs and the economy. And you may remember, according to all the exit polls, that's the narrative that everybody says he won. He's at minus 13 on education. He's at minus 4 on immigration. That's his bedrock thing that he has been all about for well over a decade now. And here we go. Hispanic Trump approval is at minus 28. And the 18 to 29-year-olds Trump approval is at minus 37. This is why they're trying to cheat. This is why he doesn't legislate anything. This is why he has show and tell in the Oval. This is why he's militarizing the cities. This is why everybody is constantly, all day, every day, look at our reality show, look at Kanks, you're so great. They're doing all of this because their only choice is propaganda and authoritarian plays.
It would be so interesting if these people knew how much money that the Department of Homeland Security and ICE are spending to lock people up, like this alligator Alcatraz, $250 million. It's going to be closed by the end of the month. I mean, we're at the end of the month.
Well, because they up under his
spending is up out the wazoo. Christy Nome, in addition to her glam team and her cosplay, she wants her own airlines. She's got this whole fleet of vehicles. Like, they're saying we cannot afford education. We cannot afford to feed poor kids. We have to let people die in other countries because it's too expensive. Yet we're spending all this money. Guantanamo, alligator Alcatraz, it's shutting down. And for what? And they're only at 4%. That amazes me. Minus 4%. I mean, I'm just like, you're fucking cruel motherfuckers is what you are.
Okay. So as he does this ramp up, you see the increase of propaganda and you see the increase of the militarization, a lot of authoritarian plays. The one thing that they're trying to check as well is the uprising of protests. That's why they're getting the military in the cities. And so he gets to Lie Social, the social media platform that he had to create because he got kicked off of all the others when he tried to overthrow the election. I can't believe everybody's just giving him a pass on that and reelected him, but we'll leave that up to the historians. Pop up this Lie Social post. George Soros and his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests and much more all throughout the United States of America. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore, never giving it so much as a chance to, quote, breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. That includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful. We're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay, this is unhinged, dictatorial. And the reason that the George Soros stuff hits hard in the MAGA world are twofold. Number one, George Soros is Jewish. And so there are anti-Semitic overtones and undertones. And that's one of the reasons why that's been able to get traction for so long, despite the fact that I don't even think George Soros, I don't think he can stand Benjamin Netanyahu at all. But that's aside from the point. The other point that this hits hard is because in MAGA world, they can't understand why you would have empathy if you're rich. Right. They don't understand that. Like, they cannot understand, like, why do you give a shit about poor people if you have money? They can't understand that. So that hits hard. But all of that language in there about we're watching you and his lying and his gaslighting about these radical protests and violent protests, it's all lies. All of that will probably not even hit the legacy news at all. and he's threatening private citizens. We have a right to assembly and we have a right to protest, but he's priming the public right now that I'm watching, I have my eye on this, and we are going to shut down protests. That's what I read from that. And I'm going to make sure all my Nazi friends who know that George Soros is a Jew, I'm going to make sure that they know too, because here's something too that I want to point out about MAGA. On the surface, they act like, oh God, we're so pro-Israel, you know, rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, Benjamin Netanyahu. There's a big difference between MAGA people accusing people of being anti-Semitic. When in MAGA, these are real Jew haters. Like they are the ones who did the march in Charlottesville or Charleston, I can't remember. And a lot of the January 6 felons that he pardoned, all neo-Nazis, Proud Boys, Nazis. A lot of the boat parades with 95,000 Trump flags on it, you know, it's all Nazi shit. And so that's why the Soros play in the right wing hits hard, because Soros is Jewish.
I completely agree with what you said. And my comment is petty. And so I don't want to diminish what you said, but it amazes me. Like it drops my jaw that after what Elon Musk did to the government, that these Republicans and Fox News could sit there and act like George Soros has his hand in the government when Elon Musk literally worked for the government. He got all these
investigations. Nazi.
It is a fucking Nazi. You cannot be pro-Nazi and then say, oh, we're against George Soros. I mean, it's the mental gymnastics. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. Like, if you cannot see all of the things, like, what's the saying? Like, not all Nazis or not all Republicans are Nazis, but all Nazis are in the Republican Party. You know, it's just the boat parades, the Camp Auschwitz. It's dinner with Nick Fuentes. It's crazy to me that nobody is taking the next step.
Okay. And next up, Vanity Fair has a new editor. And she sat down with her staff and thought, well, maybe we should put Melania on the cover. And here's how this went over. Kylie, pop this up. Melania Trump gets brutally humiliated as Vanity Fair staffers threaten to quit over a plan to put the MAGA First Lady on the cover of the renowned magazine. One of the staffers says, I will walk out the motherfucking door. This is an absolute nightmare for the image-obsessed Melania. According to Semaphore, Mark Guiducci, the magazine's newly minted editor, has been scheming for a way to make the publication more appealing to right-wing consumers. This right here, this desire by centrist Democrats or moderate people to try to appeal to right-wingers is the biggest fool's errand on the planet. Kamala tried it when she trotted around with Liz Cheney, and it went over like a lead balloon. The poll that I want to bring up and keep bringing up and keep bringing up, I saw it come out a few days ago. People that strongly support, strongly, not just support, but when you put the adjective strongly in front of it, strongly support President Trump's agenda, it's 21%. And you have these centrist people that don't have a spine, that they want everybody to like them. It's the pick me mentality. And to see the media, something like Vanity Fair, to want to put her on the front cover and whitewash and sanewash and normalize this bullshit when women in red states cannot go to Planned Parenthood because they're all shut down. When LGBTQ plus people in red states are fleeing because their governments are bullying them. This is utter insanity. And it's these people right here, like the far right freaks that have 95, Trump flags on their car and Trump nuts, and they buy, they wear all Trump merch and they got the gold sneakers. I'm like, okay, at least you own it. It's right. This shit right here, this duplicity that is so gross that you see, like Tim Cook a gay man humiliate himself and, do a show and tell with a demented Kanks in the Oval. It's this shit that pisses me off the most.
Melania Trump, she got $40 million from Jeff Bezos. She went to the Easter egg roll. And then I saw her on some stupid thing. She's got her Be Best campaign. She doesn't give a frog's fat ass about women. She's, instead of being out every day pounding the microphones, Ukraine has lost 1.6 million children. She writes a letter to Putin. Like, she is the most impotent first lady. She has no platform. And Vanity Fair, when are you going to realize these people are racists? These people love cruelty.
And they're never going to like you.
They're never going to like you. They're never going to buy your magazine. No,
they're never going to like you. You give up a part of your soul and you give up a piece of your conviction for a group of people that are so empty that there are not enough magazine covers that would complete them. That we live in a red state, you guys. I'm telling you, there is no bottom for these people. It just keeps moving and moving. And just a quick reminder, Charlie Kirk is still a prick. Pop this up.
This is something that I hope will make Taylor Swift more conservative. Engage in reality more and get outside of the abstract clouds. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge.
So, this is the type of stuff that happens in the right wing. And this is why I encourage every single parent out there. It is your responsibility to ensure that you don't raise misogynists. That comes from the home. And these emotionally stunted people in the right wing they're probably raised by toxic, broken people, and it continues generationally. And it is so important. Pumps and I are both mothers. It is so important that when you raise your sons in particular, that you raise them to be feminists, because that truly is a sign of strength. And I just want to give you guys a little gander into what happens in states like ours. In states like Oklahoma, an Oklahoma lawmaker had a town hall, and this is what he said to the audience.
We've got Sharia law trying to be set up in America today. Absolutely we do. You have Sharia law trying to be established in America today. The Muslim Brotherhood is the ideology, and you've got a Turkey president, guys. We're not going to turn into chaos. We've been really good to each other today.
Okay.
Turkey has
it says that this town hall was in Pryor, Oklahoma. And I can pretty much give you a 99.9% fact checked without actually having to fact check it. I guarantee you there are zero Muslims in Pryor, Oklahoma. There is zero effort for Sharia law anywhere in the state of Oklahoma. It is white. Parts of it are still very, very segregated. And that is just simply not happening. But this is all they have. All MAGA has is to scare you. Oh my God, people are getting raped and killed in the streets. Charlie Kirk went to New York. Oh my God, I did not feel safe in New York, not one time. Listen up, viewer. Pumps and I have been in New York all day. We've taken the subway 4 times. Nothing fucking happened. We've had a great day. So then they keep digging, and now they pull out the Sharia law thing. The only people that want Sharia law is that little teeny weeny nut job. I guarantee you he's a tongue talker. I guarantee you he goes to a hand waving church. I guarantee you he does. He wants Sharia law in the form of Christianity. He wants to be a Shiite Christian. That's what that guy wants. And so, but they pull this out. They always, their fundamental campaign strategy is a campaign of fear. And MAGA people seem to be little scaredy cats. I've never seen a group of people that live in so much fear as I have MAGA.
Not only do they live in fear, they talk about how big and tough they are all the time, and they don't see the hypocrisy. And I'll guarantee what else that is happening right there. Every single one of those fuckers watches Newsmax or Fox News. I mean, they're all
the audience was kind of heckling back. They were like, oh no. I mean, they were kind of pushing him back. And he said, like, wait, we've been getting along really well right now. They weren't buying it. And so I do think there is something kind of changing that isn't getting covered in mainstream news, in legacy news. I do think there is a little bit of a sea change that is happening even in rural towns, especially when you look at the seat that just happened in Iowa, where a Democrat won by plus 10 in a county, in a district that Trump won by plus 11. And then whenever we do get a bird's eye view into these town halls, these people, none of them, I guarantee you, in Pryor, Oklahoma, know a Muslim. So Sharia law is so far outside of anything that's happening in Pryor, Oklahoma. You guys, we know this because we live in Oklahoma. We live in Oklahoma City. But I'm just telling you, there is 0% threat or chance of any Sharia law ever happening in the state of Oklahoma. It is so in the tank for Jesus. It's not even funny. I mean, you can't drive 5 yards without getting smacked in the face with some mega church. They're everywhere. So, all right, that's all we have for today. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Pumps and I need to share with everybody that we have written a book. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. And believe it or not, Pumps and I have not always been so rock solid, and we talk about all of our trials, tribulations, most of all our fuck ups. Yes, because fuck ups are relatable and a part of the human experience.
I have gotten so much feedback regarding the book that because of my situation with the religion and addiction and all that people relate to that. So I do think there's something to take away that's comforting about it, because we've all been in very difficult situations.
And listener, what we want you to do, this is the it book for summer reading. So please get your copy of Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches and take a picture of yourself with the book in really great places and tag at I've Had It podcast, and we will share your images with our summer it book. You can buy it in bookstores. You can buy it in the link in our bio. You can buy it at Target, Walmart, Amazon, etc. All the retailers. Happy reading and happy summer.